Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Blair and today's video is me sitting down and putting on a bunch of makeup that excites me. So I basically went through all of my drawers and I just picked things that I felt excited to use, and I decided to just use them and create a full face. So this is the look I came up with. I do have a new palette. Well, it's not new, but it's new to me. I just got it, and I'm using the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette today. I got it during the Sephora 4th of July sale, and I really wanted to use it. So that kind of inspired this video, and I hope you guys like it. If you're interested in sitting down and playing with some makeup I'm really excited to use, please keep watching, and let's go ahead and get started. So I basically went through and just picked out all of the things that when I saw them I felt excited to use. You know how you have those certain products where you buy them and for whatever reason you're always kind of drawn to them? This is my collection of those products right now. So the first thing I wanted to use is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I used this a few days ago randomly. I hadn't used it in a while and I used it again and I kind of forgot about this product, to be honest. I think the reason I pulled this out was because I used the Physicians Formula Spotlight Primer recently, and I remember that that was supposed to be a dupe for this product, so it made me want to pull this out again. It doesn't give you that really intense highlight look, which sometimes I really like that, but sometimes I want more of just like an overall glow to my face, and this is really good for that. For Corrector, I mentioned this in a video or two back. I have been really into this Sephora collection, Bright Future Corrector. It's so funny. When I first got this, I remember when I used it, I was like, oh, I'm not really crazy about that. But when I used it, I used a good bit of it. Like, I really kind of drew it on, and it was way too orangey, like way too orangey. And I just thought I didn't like it, but it was definitely not the corrector. It was the fact that I used way too much. As you can see, I used 2 little dots on both eyes, and that's all you need because it is very, very pigmented and you just don't need a lot. Less is definitely best. But I think the reason I've really been liking this is because it is a darker kind of orangey peach color. It really corrects my purpley blue circles that I have. Sometimes if you go peachy but it's too light of a peach, it works, but not as well as a deeper peach would work, if that makes sense. It depends on how dark your circles are. But for me, the deeper peach shade works better because my circles are pretty deep, pretty dark. See how much that just brightened up under there? It's crazy. I also kind of bring it into the tear duct area right here. Just whatever is left. I don't add any more product because most people do tend to get a little bit dark right here. Moving on to concealer. I really want to use the Nars, but I feel like I have to use something different because I've used that in the past like 5 or 6 videos, I think. So I'm going to use the McGrath Sublime, what is this? Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. I can never remember the name of it. It's so long. And this is in the shade L5. This is very full coverage, so you don't want to overdo it with this. So I'm just going to start with a little bit. I am dying to try the Pat McGrath foundation. It's just one of those, I just haven't bit the bullet yet and gotten it, but I really want it. If you've tried the Pat McGrath foundation, please let me know if you like it. I think it's $68. It's a more expensive foundation, so I really want to get it. I just don't know. Can't make up my mind. Right now I have so many open foundations. I feel like I need to kind of go through the ones that I have before I buy another one, but y'all know I always have my eye on a new foundation and usually a new concealer too. I love this Smashbox blurring concealer brush so much. I am very seriously debating of getting a second one because I feel like I'm gonna like ruin this one. I use it so much. So honestly kind of want to buy a backup of this. You know I really like a brush if I buy a backup because I don't think I've ever done, I don't know if I've ever bought a backup of a brush actually. I bought more than one sponge before, like my Wet n Wild beauty sponge. I love that one. And I remember when I tried that, I went out and bought like 4 of those, but I don't think I've ever bought a duplicate of a brush. But I love this one so much that I'm really, really debating it. For foundation, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. This is in the shade Shell. And I've used this a few times, only one time in a video. But I loved this foundation when I tried it. I loved it. I could not believe. I think this is $6. I'm going to take one pump directly on my brush. This is my Smashbox full coverage foundation brush. This might be a little bit light for me right now, but oh well. Yeah, I used this in that video and I loved it. One thing I will say about it though is it has a little bit of a scent to it. It kind of reminds me of baby powder. I almost feel like I said that in my e.l.f. video too. But it really does. It smells like legit baby powder. I mean, this foundation is really, really nice. Really, really nice. It is a little bit light for me though now. Sad. Kind of want to get a little bit of a darker color. And it's only $6, so I feel like I can justify that, you know. For a little bit of powder, I want to use the e.l.f., but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to use something different. So I pulled out the Mercier Candleglow Sheer Perfection powder, and this one is in the shade number 2. I got this a while ago, and I feel like I haven't used it that much in videos, but I do like it. It kind of reminds me of the Hourglass powders, just a little bit. I haven't used it a ton since I got it, but I've used it a little bit and I do like it. For bronzer, so I pulled out a really fun one. I don't use this one that often because it's ridiculously expensive and I try to just use it every now and then, but I decided I would use it today, and it's the Tom Ford Soleil Glow Bronzer in the shade Terra. This is the mini one, and it is a beautiful bronzer. The packaging is beautiful. It comes in this cute little white suede bag, but like I said, I don't use it in videos a ton because it is so expensive, and I try to only use it sparingly because it's pricey. So here it is. It's a really pretty color. It's a pretty warm bronzer, so I like it more for the spring and summer, but it's a beautiful color. I don't have very many things from Tom Ford. So I can't really compare it to a whole lot, but it is a beautiful bronzer, but very pricey. And we are going to use an e.l.f. blush. How funny is that? We're using a Tom Ford bronzer and an e.l.f. blush. And this blush is the Primer Infused blush in the shade Always Punchy. So I got this for the e.l.f. video also when I got the foundation, and if you remember that video, you will remember that I loved this blush. So this goes to show you that you do not have to spend a lot of money on makeup to get a really good product. And again, this is the shade Always Punchy. I haven't seen this shade too many places, so I'm wondering if it's like an e.l.f.com exclusive, because I've seen some of the other shades of these Primer Infused blushes, but not this one. Take some on my nose, and then I'll just bring whatever is left on my forehead. I used to never bring blush on my nose either, but now I can't stop doing it. I love it. Okay, so there's the blush. How pretty is it? This is the best peachy blush with a little bit of pink, but not too much pink. I love it. If you need a new blush, definitely recommend these from e.l.f. For the brows, I'm going to use my new Benefit Precisely My Brow in the shade 3.5. I have been loving this too. This is the only brow pencil I've been using since I bought it. I've totally quit using my ABH Brow Wiz. It's so funny because I used that for years and years. I repurchased it multiple times, and then I tried this one, and I cannot believe I've never tried it. So nice. You know, when you have those days when you're struggling with your eyebrows, I'm kind of having one of those days right now. Some days you just can't get your brows right. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what you do, you're just not crazy about it. That's how I feel right now. Then I'm just going to use, I know you probably know, my Believe Beauty Brow Gel, which is pretty much gone. So I'm going to need to get a new one of these. So I zoomed you in a little bit closer for the eyes. And the first thing I'm going to take is my Nars eyeshadow base, like always. I'm so excited about the eyes because I got a new eyeshadow palette from Sephora during their 4th of July sale, and I'm really excited to play around with it. Moving on to the eyes, I'm so excited about this because I have wanted this palette for the longest time. And it was just one of those that I never ended up buying. I don't know why, I just didn't buy it. And I saw it was on the Sephora 4th of July sale, and I could not resist. So I got it. It's the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I just love this. Did I need it? No. But I just love these colors in here. This color story just speaks to me in a really big way. I am first going to go into the shade Momentum, which is right here. It's the lightest shade in the palette. It's more of a skin tone shade. And I'm just going to set that primer. So I'm just putting this all over. I know I'm like way late to the party on this palette, but it was just one of those. I always wanted it, but I just never ended up buying it. I don't know why. but I loved the color story immediately when it came out. I guess it was last spring this came out. So I'm going in with this shade here called Karma, kind of more of a nude with a little bit of pink to it. And I'm using my BH Cosmetics number 7 brush. And I'm just going to lightly apply this in the crease. So this shade is nice. It's very, this is a very smooth shadow formula. They don't have a lot of fallout either so far. The first 2 shades don't, at least. But this is a really pretty color. Now I'm going to go into the lavender shade called Libra. And this is the shade I'm probably the most excited about in this palette. It just looks so pretty. Okay. So I'm using that with my BK Beauty 202 brush, and it's the tapered crease. So it's tapered blending brush like this. I'm getting some of that lavender shade on the tip, and basically just gonna start fanning this shade back and forth over where we put the Karma shade. But I'm not gonna bring it up as far towards my eyebrow. I'm just keeping it right here. Oh my gosh, if you like lavender shades on your eyes, if you have green eyes, this shade looks so good. So I'm just gradually building it up until I get it like I want it. Mainly because I'm going in with really, really small amounts, and I'm holding my brush out really far, so I'm just basically using the very tip of this brush to do this, just so we don't get too much color. Oh, that color is so pretty. Oh, I love it. These shadows are blending like a dream also, very, very easily, which is really nice. I feel like I remember that about my Nude light palette I have from Huda Beauty. I haven't used it in a little while. This shade, oh, I love it. I remember when the pictures of this palette were on Instagram when it first came out, and all I could look at was this lavender shade. It just looks so pretty. I'm now going to go back in with the first one we used, which was Karma. And I'm just going to take that same BH Cosmetics fluffy brush and kind of go back through this with the crease, because I feel like I kind of took over everything with that lavender shade because it's so pretty. And I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Off Balance. It's kind of purpley, not as purple as the shade we put here, Libra. It's a little more of a mauve color, I guess, mauve mauve. I'm taking that with a smaller BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm just going to start placing this in my outer V. The shade is not super, super dark, but I think it'll add a little bit of that purple tone out here. Still, these shadows do not have any fallout, which is pretty incredible. I really want to use the ultraviolet shade, the really pretty shimmery purple. So I'm going to use a little bit of that, and I think I'm just going to take my finger. Ooh, wow, okay. So I'm just going to tap this shade right here. Oh gosh. So that's like a purple, but it has a little bit of a blue shift to it. Really, really pretty. This reminds me, there's a shade in the Anastasia Carly Bible palette. I forget what the name of it is. I'll have to look and see, but it looks very similar to this. Like, it looks purple in the pan, but then when you put it on your eyes, it is purple, but it almost has a little bit of a bluish tint to it. The shades Galaxy and Cosmic are really calling to me. So Galaxy is down here. It's a really bright light pink, and then Galaxy is over here. It's a light gold, like really, really light. I'm going to go in with Cosmic first, which is the shimmery, kind of light pink. And I'm going to tap this just on the inner portion of my lid. Oh, wow. So that is really pretty too. It looks pink in the pan, but then when you apply it, it looks more purple. It's kind of like a lavender. Ooh. So pretty. I love it. I'm going to take the light purple shade, the Libra color, and we're going to put that on my lower lash line because I really want to keep the purple going down there. Yeah, so we're going to go in with Libra and put this on my bottom lash line. Last but not least, I've got to try this Galaxy shade, which is the light gold. So I'm going to take just a little bit of that with my finger. And we're going to tap this right in the center of the lid. So you can see it adds a little bit of a gold shift to the eyes. I bet that color would be really pretty on your eyes by itself. Oh, I love it. My same fluffy blending brush. And just make sure everything is nice and blended together. And okay, I'm stopping now. I could just keep going, but I'm going to stop. I love this palette, so I'm really happy I bought this. I wanted it before, but I'm glad I waited and got it on a sale. Really, really like it. Now I'm just going to curl my eyelashes. For mascara, what do I want to use? I think I'm going to go in with my Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. This was one of my favorites for quite a while, and then I started using other things, but I really like this. No one ever, or I don't hear anyone talking about this mascara, like ever. This is actually my second tube of this, but what I noticed about it was that it lasted for the longest time. You know how after you've had mascara for a while and it's been open, it's kind of after a while starts to get chunky. I guess chunky. That's a weird way to put it, but that's the only thing I can think of. Like the formula starts to get kind of chunky looking and gross. This mascara stayed looking brand new for months. It was the craziest thing. It just never got gross and clumpy looking. I don't know why. And this is just my second tube. Maybe my first one was just like a magical tube. I don't know, but I loved it. Look at this mascara. It's so good. So good. So there's the finished eyes. I love, 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 love how these came out. So for the lips, I'm trying to decide what do I want to use. I think I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs Longwear Lip Pencil in the shade Cream and Sugar. This is kind of more of a not cool toned lip liner, but it's not super rosy and warm. Definitely has more of a cool undertone, so I thought it would look good with the eyes. For lipstick, I'm going to use the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lipstick, and this one is in the shade Beatrice. This is a pretty cool toned nude, yeah. I'm going to take some gloss because I love a good glossy lip. And this is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Glass Slipper. It's just the clear one. So this is the final look. I hope you guys liked it. This is definitely a little bit different than what I normally do. On my eyes, normally I go for the warm tones, you know, the orangey, peachy, golden kind of tones, but I really like how this turned out, and I love this palette. I definitely want to use this in another video and use some of the other colors. Like I really want to use the mint color in here. Yeah, I really like this palette. I'm really happy that I got it during the sale, and I hope you guys liked the video. Please, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe before you leave today. I post new videos every Wednesday and Friday. Also, make sure to go follow me over on Instagram at the same username, simply.blair. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.